Today we're going to do a review over inferences. So when we're looking at inferences, we're going to talk about a survey. And a survey is a method of collecting information to make inferences about large groups of people. And as we've already done this earlier in the year, so this should be just a review. For a survey to be valid, the sample must be random and represent the population being studied. The population is the entire group being studied. A sample is a small part of the population to represent the whole group. All right, so here we go. Alice conducted a random survey at her school to determine if boys and girls in her grade liked the same types of candy. The results are shown in the bar graph. Based on the information in the graph, evaluate the validity of the following inferences about students in the school. Well, before we do that, the first thing we should do whenever we see a bar graph is write our numbers on top. So we're talking about boys and girls. So it looks like girls is going to be the lighter color and the boys is the darker color. So if I'm looking at girls for Kit Kat, I see that we have 3. Boys for Kit Kat, we have 2. Girls for Snickers, we have 4. Boys for Snickers, we have 5. Reese's for girls, we have 10. Boys, we have 8. And it looks like Gummy Bears is tied there. All right, so now that we have our numbers, if I wanted to know the total number of girls, what would I do? I would add them all up. If I wanted to know the total number of boys, what would I do? I would add up everything on top that belongs to either girls or either boys. So I'm sure we're going to need it. So let's go ahead and do that now. So get total girls, total boys. I'm not going to write the total yet because I want to make sure you're doing that. So I'm going to give you a second. So for girls, you're adding 3 plus 4 plus 10 plus 7. I got 24. For boys, you're adding 2 plus 5 plus 8 plus 7. And I get 22 on that one. All right, here we go. Boys like gummy bears more than girls like Reese's. All right, boys, gummy bears is 7. And we're saying that 7 is more than girls with Kit Kats. Well, girls with Kit Kats is 3. And I think I skipped the top one. Oops, wait a minute. What did I do here? I wrote it on the wrong one. Okay, so I mixed that up. One hot second. Here we go. Let's try this again. Boys like gummy bears, which was 7, more than girls that like Reese's. Well, girls that like Reese's is 10. So we know that this is false. Okay, let's make sure I don't make a mistake this time. Girls like Reese's, so girls and Reese's was 10, more than boys like Kit Kats. And boys with Kit Kats is 2. And so that one is true. The mode favorite candy among boys is Snickers. Okay, well, how do we find mode? Well, the first 2 letters in mode is M-O. And we remember mode by most. All right, so the most for boys, it looks like, is Reese's. But it said Snickers, so that one is false. What should it be? It should be Reese's. The percentage of students that chose gummy bears is equal for boys and girls. All right, so we're looking at gummy bears. Our first instinct, okay, 7 is equal to 7. However, that's not how you find the percentage. if I was looking at the percentage, I would have to take 7 out of 24 for the girls, x over 100, because that's how we find percent. And for the boys, I would do 7 out of 22 equals x over 100, because that's how we find the percent. Well, we know those aren't equal, so this one is false. They do not have the same percentage. Girls like Reese's, so girls with Reese's is 10, more than Kit Kat and Snickers combined. Well, Kit Kat for girls is 3, Snickers for girls is 4, and 3 plus 4 is 7. So that one is true. So all we're doing here is looking at our bar graph and making some inferences based on the data that they gave us. All right, lastly, a company pulled a random sample of teenagers about their favorite fast food restaurants. Based on the information, evaluate the validity of the following inferences about the general population of teenagers. All right, so we got numbers of teenagers that were surveyed. 45 like Burger King, 62 like Chick-fil-A, 37 like Jack in the Box, 18 KFC, 50 McDonald's, and 50 Wendy's. All right, so I'm assuming we're probably going to have to add those up, but let's just go with it and see what happens. The number of teenagers who chose McDonald's, so McDonald's is 50, is greater than the number of teenagers who chose Chick-fil-A. Well, we know that that is false. More teenagers chose Chick-fil-A. Surprise, surprise. Teenagers are certain to select Chick-fil-A or Wendy's. So Chick-fil-A is 62 and Wendy's is 50. So 62 plus 50 is 112. Now, what would I do here? I could add them all up. Could somebody choose Burger King? Absolutely. Jack in the Box? Absolutely. KFC? Absolutely. Wendy's? Absolutely. So is it certain? No, it is not certain. Remember, when we're looking at probability, we had unlikely and we had certain. Remember, certain was all. And that's not all. That's just 2 samples. All right, so that one would be false. Even though I added up the 112, there's a lot more than 112 that were surveyed. Teenagers are more likely to select McDonald's or Burger King. So McDonald's, Burger King. So we have 50 and 45, which is 95. More likely would be greater than Jack in the Box or KFC. So KFC and Jack in the Box. So 37 plus 18, 54. So that one would be true. The number of teenagers who chose Burger King, so Burger King is 45, is less than the number of teenagers who chose KFC and Wendy's. So KFC is 18, Wendy's is 50, so that would be 68. Yeah, 68. And 45 is less than 68, so we know that this one is true. All right, now you're going to go do the assignment and the independent practice and put those into the